Are you struggling for consistency in your sim racing? Does your iRating look like a roller coaster? If so, we have good news for you. The way to get more consistent is to first understand what you're doing differently than the professionals. And VRS is the answer. With our competitive subscription, you will have the telemetry, setups, tutorials, and everything else you need to fully analyze your driving. Our data packs and the ability to compare your driving with the best in the world will show you exactly where to adjust your inputs, change your driving line, and shave seconds off of your lap times. And our powerful and precise Direct Force Pro wheelbase and precision pedals are being used by some of the world's best drivers. All these champions agree that VRS hardware is not just the best on the market, it's also priced well below the competition. So if you're looking to upgrade to direct drive and the best pedals in sim racing, VRS is your answer. If you want to get better, get faster, and make it happen sooner rather than later, you owe it to yourself to find out why so many people are switching to VRS. You'll be so glad that you did. Visit www.virtualracingschool.com and learn why the best use VRS.
In the first 11 seasons of the Apex Racing Academy Porsche Cup, we have had 11 different pro champions. But tonight, Dalton Zavadil is looking to take back-to-back titles and become the first man to do so. PS4 driver joins Miroslav Svoboda and Helder Sequeira as championship leaders heading into tonight's season finale at Suzuka. Brought to you on Apex Racing TV. My name is Sam Fitzpatrick. Alongside me is Aaron Smith. Joshua Wilkie is bringing you this stream on our YouTube channel. And Aaron, it has been a very fun one, and we head into a heat format tonight to decide who our champions this season are going to be.
Well, it kind of looks very dead set in a couple of our championships at the moment, but I'm honestly surprised, as I'm sure you are as well, Sam, that not one two-time champion at all in the Porsche Cup series that we've been doing for years at this point. And, well, Zavadil seems to be the first driver to take that little record of his that he probably will hold. I mean, if it's taken 12 seasons for anyone to become a two-time champion, then I can't imagine it's going to happen any other time after this. Unless he comes back, then he'll probably become a three-time champion. We'll wait and see, but still got a little bit of work to do, has the American tonight. It's obviously not over. If he has a dreadful race, then it could backfire on him. He just needs to keep it cool. Doesn't really even need to necessarily win today. Just needs to finish on the podium, I think, and he'll be fine. So just keep it cool. Don't take any stupid risks, especially a Porsche round Suzuka, which is not the most stable, admittedly. These rear-engine cars, especially through 130R, can be a little bit dicey if you're not careful. But Dalton, at least on his outlap, looks quite comfy.
Yeah, this will actually be his first time lap, I believe, and he moves up into third place, albeit those Porsche Cups do tend to get a little bit faster, hence why the Pro-Ams are currently at the top of the standings. But let's have a look at the championship standings for the pro drivers, because Dalton Zavadil, as you say, Aaron, very correctly, he does still need to finish tonight. His championship lead did get cut slightly last time out by Philip Hammer, and so he sits on 720 points as it stands, Hammer on 683. But yeah, Zavadil really needs like a top 10, top 15 in order to win the title. So yeah, he should be fine. Of course, Hammer runner-up last season and champion a few seasons ago. So even if Zavadil doesn't become a two-time champion, Hammer will become a two-time champion. So that duck is definitely going to be broken. In the Pro-Ams, this one is mathematically secured. Miroslav Svoboda who has not taken pole position tonight. He's been immense in qualifying. In the end, he has scored 6 poles out of 8 rounds, and he's also done very well in the races. And he cannot be caught now, and it's all about who can finish in second.
Well, I mean, he has been absolutely amazing this season, has Svoboda. And I honestly don't remember the last time we even had a Czech Republic driver in this series. And, well, he's the first driver to win in that accolade. So fair play to Svoboda. He's been rapid all season long. But it's kind of obvious that tonight he's gone a bit easy. You know, he's not gotten pole position. Only missed out by, I think it was just under half a tenth. But he's up there in third at the moment. Of course, got a lot of the pros to come and do their laps. I believe we can take a look at the standings now as well, which I believe is very much still up for grabs between Shikaria and Greaveson and Velasquez, maybe? He needs an awful lot of luck for that to happen, but it's I think it is still mathematically possible for him to win. But the main ones, of course, being Shikaria and Greaveson right up at the top. Not much between these two at all. And now that we're back in the heat format, after last week we were doing our 1-hour races, there's a lot more to play for here. Those A final points are going to be everything to those AM drivers. And in the teams, it's between Walk Racing Federation and Cube Control's Reparto Corsa. So that should be a good battle. Very close, admittedly. Usually in the teams, there's kind of one that just runs away with it. But this time, it's only 30, 40 points between those. So it could swing in either way.
Yeah, Walk Racing have come back very well as the season has progressed. I think they may have switched around one. I think Gordon Marshall may have joined the Federation team and left the other team, the Walk Racing esports team. And that works very, very well for them. So we will see if they manage to complete that championship challenge, because, yeah, they were a little bit behind at one point with Walk Racing, but they now lead with a round to go. Zavadil now leads in this qualifying session. It's him ahead of Hammer, ahead of Costa. Remember, Costa, whilst he's not in the championship fray, he has been immense this season. Out of the 5 rounds he's attended, I believe he's won 4 of them. So he has been in great form, and arguably is the man to beat, especially seeing that he won last time out at Hungaroring. And he's currently warming up his tyres and will have probably one last shot at it. They do have the strict tyre warming set by iRacing, but as long as you don't go too slowly, you're not going to get punished by it.
Yeah, there's something in this game which I think a lot of people have voiced, that it's a little bit strict, the qualifying stuffs. But Pascal Costa, I think you said at some point this season, had he been hit from the first round, he could have been a serious championship contender. And I'm probably going to agree with you there. He has been brilliant when he has attended. Not an ideal turn 1, admittedly. The car just was not biting at the front at all. Let's hope he can make up the time through the rest of this lap, as Philip Hammer has gone back into the pit side, but I don't think he's going to be setting another lap. So it looks like it's going to be between Costa, maybe Warren, Godosad and Lazarus if they can improve, and Dawson Zavadil, who currently is just under 0.2 of a second ahead of Philip Hammer. And Costa really trying to rag this one out. The first sector, wasn't that great from Pascal on this lap. And got to be careful on the exit there of turn 9. That off-track is so punishing if you get it wrong. Now down into the hairpin of turn 11. This corner's actually fairly simple. Just hug it nice and neat on the inside. Stamp on the throttle. Use all of the curb on the exit. And then you've got about 10 seconds to think as you come through this long sweeping right-hander. You got to think before you get to spoon curve. And you hit that braking point on the outside where the AstroTurf brakes. Use all of the track on the outside and little bit understeery through there, but manages to get a decent exit. That off track is also punishing. He might have actually got it there. That looked a little bit wide, so not sure if this lap is going to count. We'll find out when he crosses the line. And then just 130R and then the final corner left to go. Actually a downshift through there. I'm surprised. I thought it would have just been a tiny lift. And then braking at the 100-meter board, hard on the brakes, down to second, use all of the curb, bouncing his way through those final 2 corners, and then punching his way all the way to the line. And is this lap actually going to be valid? And if it is it going to be good enough? And I don't think it was valid. And even if it was too slow.
It was valid, but it wasn't very fast. Well, it was very fast, but it was half a tenth slower than his best lap, so it wasn't an improvement. He set a very good final sector, did Costa, but the rest of it was just losing half a tenth here, half a tenth there. Stats, who's been in great form recently. This is a little bit lower down than where he would like to be, and he's not going to improve. He remains in 7th place. That was about a tenth slower than his best lap. Ben Pedersen is on a final effort. He's got a minute and a half to go, and Corey Lazarus as well, the other driver from down under, and Lazarus moves up to 5th place. That's a good qualifying for him. Pedersen in 10th. Now on our timing board, I'm not 100% confident that everyone has completed. If we just click on Philip Hammer, I don't know if it will magically have more cars appear. No, that genuinely seems to be it. Maybe Miles Hemming could still put in a lap time. He's the only driver left on circuit.
Oh, we can have a look and see if he's still going. And if he will it actually be a competitive lap time? He's currently last, so realistically he doesn't even... Yeah, I was going to say, he needs to actually set a lap here. Oh, that's not a great line there through the second to last part of the track. Hard on the brakes once again. And I honestly thought that might have been an off-track again. But let's see, coming up to the line, is he actually going to put himself on the timing board? Or will he have to start from last? He does put himself on the board. It's 14th, though. That's not amazing. I believe that's going to put him in Heat 2. And I think that might be 7th or 8th in Heat 2. I think 7th. I don't know. My math is failing me. But 1.1 seconds away from Zavadil. And I guess a 2-minute lap, that's not too bad. But, I mean, that is still a fair amount of time.
Yeah, well, it's a very competitive field. Miles is a very quick drive, 5.9k iRacing, and yeah, a lot of these pro-ams are very quick. So yeah, I think a decent effort there from Miles to be 1.1 off the pace as we transition over into Heat 1. And it is a familiar driver at the top of the standings. It is Dalton Zavadil, who takes pole position. That is his 5th pole of the season out of 8 rounds. He's ahead of Pascal Costa. Great to see those two alongside. Corey Lazarus starts in 3rd place. Then it's Saboda, who is pole for this one. Didn't get overall pole, got beat by Lane, but pole for in the pro-ams for this heat at least. Then it's Hapacha, Marshall, Strand, Bjorkland, Kokok, Pisco, Greaveson, who needs a big round of course, Verm, Clays, Iglesias, Hatcher, and Porto Ruiz, who had a qualifying ban, but good to see him back in the series.
Well, we've got a fairly stacked grid, to be honest. I'd love to see Zavadil and Costa going wheel to wheel into turn 1. That's going to be brilliant. I don't think either would end up actually going into turn 3, to be honest. I think they'll both be on the gravel, to be honest. But we'll have to wait and see how good Pascal Costa is off the line. I think from memory, Zavadil is a pretty good starter himself. But he's very consistent. Not the best, but not the worst. He just gets away from the line fairly safely. But can any of the top 3 jump ahead of him? Lazarus in 3rd as well. Watch out for him because sometimes this season he has shown blistering pace. And I expect to see the same from him tonight. And well, this is probably the closest we're going to get to a home race for him. So he's probably feeling good.
Yeah, he should be feeling good on that one. As Lazarus has not taken, well, he hasn't taken to the start as Corey Lazarus. He's going to be starting from the pits. So it's be Zavadil to take us underway here for the final round of the season. It's a good start for Costa. Zavadil has to come right to the inside immediately, and Costa is still going to be able to move alongside on the outside. These front 2 are well clear of the rest of the field, but Zavadil has done enough. He did not get the best start, but he transitioned to the inside early enough to cover off any attacks. Saboda then moves up. Bjorkman with a good start. Pisco, in fact, that's Hapacha sliding past Saboda. So Hapacha moves up into 3rd in the first few corners.
I think that's the first time I've seen Hapacha actually have a good start to the race. So fair play from the Italian. As back here, Matt Strand just struggling to get past Iglesias, and still they go side by side, but through turn 7 just about manages to get ahead. And so does Steve Clays, jumps up the inside of Iglesias, and Iglesias again down to that's 15th now as Corey Lazarus goes on through. And hopefully we can find out why Lazarus didn't take the start, because it might be tactical. I don't know, because he missed the start and then immediately went into the pit lane. So maybe he's just having some fun in the final race. Was a bit close there for Lazarus on the back of Clays. Can't quite get close enough to make the move on the Belgium there. But that start by Costa was absolutely brilliant. As you mentioned, Sam, Zavadil instantly covering the inside. He knew the threat from the Portuguese man. And that's Hatcher, I believe, who's either had some internet trouble or is completely out of the race. Unfortunate for him, as he's now in 16th and completely gone from the session. But can Costa get close enough to try and make a move, maybe into the last few corners? Hatcher is back, but then briefly went, so I think he's going to disconnect from the session. Here we go then. Pascal, what are you going to do? Are you going to go for the send? He doesn't. Chooses to be a bit safe. Perhaps a move into turn 1's coming here, Sam.
Hatcher as well, closing in on these guys a lot. And yeah, Zaldil having to just cover off that. That's going to be that Casio triangle, probably the best place to overtake. And Zaldil knew he could not afford to leave himself vulnerable. Apache desperate to pick up any draft he possibly can. We have got a different format for today. It's only the top 8 who advance through from each heat. So we'll remove the green highlights for this round, so not to confuse anyone. Yeah, just the top 8 from each heat. And then the top 4 from the B final. So it will only be 20 drivers in the A finals, just because we've got a few less drivers as the season goes on, as normal, but still 32 drivers we have here tonight. It's really good numbers, 8 rounds into the series. And of course, if you're interested in taking part in the Porsche Cups next season, we will have a new season likely starting in May. So join the Apex Racing League Discord using the link below. Follow the social medias as well for Apex Racing League, and you can see when that new series goes live.
Oh, here we ride with Bjorklund, who's had a pretty good start to the race, up 2 places from where he began, and now onto the back of Gordon Marshall and Saboda. This could be quite an interesting battle for the Pro-Am win. And, well, like we mentioned earlier on, the title is already sewn up for Miroslav Saboda, so now it's just completely for fun. Where these guys want to fight or how they fight, we shall see. As Gordon Marshall admittedly has looked quite good in this second half of the season. And perhaps if we get another season into season 13 of the Porsche Cup Series, he will be one of the contenders. I can assure you, he has been brilliant. And at the moment is looking just as sitting in 5th, just behind your now Pro-Am champion for this season. And back up at the top, Zavadil is doing what he does best, pulling away from the rest of the field. It's now half a second, as here goes Matt Strand getting awfully close to the back of Verm. Is he going to go for it? He does up the inside. I don't know if he's going to be able to get it done. He's going to need to get an amazing exit, which, to be fair, he did. And that's an amazing run out the final corner and gets himself ahead of Verm. But now here comes Corey Lazarus, going to try and take the pair of them as they head into the first corner. There goes the Kiwi up the inside of the Norwegian, and I don't think Matt Strand was fighting that one too much. It's been a great opening few laps from Corey Lazarus, and well, if only he'd be starting 3rd, we might be seeing a bit more from him.
Yeah, he's I wonder how far he can get up the order. This is such a short race. It's such a deceivingly short race, this heat, because he needs to finish in the top 8 in order to get straight through into the A final. And that might be too far, because Kokok is staying nice and close to the back of Pisco, so he might need to rely on one of the top 8 to have an incident. But not too many overtakes so far. Of course, we did see Lazarus pull off that move, but of course we know he's out of position. This is not an easy to overtake circuit, despite the long run through turn, or at least down the pit straight. Not much of a braking zone into turn 1, and so really the Casio triangle is the best place. Not too many overtakes into the hairpin either, you'll generally see, unlike in real life, where quite often you'll see a very ambitious overtake. As behind, it looks like Thomas Verm might lose another place here, because Steve Clays is exceptionally close heading into spin corner.
Bit of a shame for Clays, as we've seen many times this season that he definitely could have been in the AM Championship fight, but there's just been 1 or 2 rounds where he maybe lacked a little bit of luck, maybe had an incident or two that maybe he shouldn't have gone for a move, and Again, it's another driver who I think if we go into another season, he will be a competitive driver and he will be there up at the top fighting for a championship. But tonight, I guess, is just about proving that. That's an aggressive defense from Verm. Don't think Steve Clays was expecting that, but that is not a great mid-corner at the Casio Triangle for Verm, and surely Steve Clays should get a lovely run down this main straight. But Verm defending the inside very aggressively. Steve Clays here needs to make sure he kind of pushes Verm to the inside, makes him get a bad run, and actually Verm backed out of that. I was not expecting that at all. I thought the German was going to fight that one till the end, but eventually decided it wasn't worth it and has given up the place to Steve Clays as he moves into 12th position. And by the way, we should also be focusing... Oh, that's big. I thought he was going to go for the move. Thomas Verm through turn 6 there. But we should be focusing on the AM championship fight because Griefson right now is in 9th, which I must say, Sam, is very impressive for an AM driver in a heat race. I don't think we've seen many drivers get into the top 10 in the AMs in these races. So a nice chunk of points for him. And, well, that's going to put him in great form going into that A final.
Yeah, he needs to just let Corey Lazarus go here. There's no point in fighting Lazarus. He's not going to keep him behind. And I mean, at this point, he may as well let Lazarus go and then hope that Lazarus has a collision. And that's Griefson's best shot at getting into the A final. Because if he fights this one too much, he risks falling into the clutch of Strand. And here comes Lazarus, gets alongside for the first time. And Griefson does the very smart thing at not fighting it. Zaratil's having a little bit of a dropout for a moment. But he's all right again. Yeah, I imagine he had a little bit of a flutter right there. But he's still got a 0.6 of a second gap over Costa. So he's holding on to that gap well. Oh, off goes Marshall. Marshall has dropped behind Bjorklund there. That's a mistake, completely overshooting 130R.
Yeah, I did say that corner is quite tricky in a Porsche, as the nature of these cars, it does just make that kind of fast, sweeping left or right-hander. It just makes it a little bit harder in this type of car, as that is, I believe, Sabota trying to fight. Yeah, with Hapasha for a podium, that would be a statement and a half for Miroslav Sabota, especially since he will most likely be a pro going into the next season if he decides to compete again. We're on the white flag, by the way, so this is going to be the final lap for anyone to make their move. And, well, it looks like the Czech Republic man is thinking about making a move himself.
Yeah, maybe... Yeah, no, it seems to be opening up a little bit now towards the end of this race. And, yeah, looking really good right now is Sabota. Whilst he has got the championship in the bag, it really doesn't matter what he does in this round. I think there'll still be an element of wanting to end the season cleanly. I don't think he's really made any enemies this season. He's been one of the cleanest drivers this championship as Sabota. So he's not going to go for anything completely unnecessary. And into the hairpin, he's not close enough. Bjorklund and Marshall behind. It's not looking good for Lazarus. Lazarus 1.2 seconds away from Kokok. He'll probably be about half a second away by the time they get to the line, but unless Kokok makes a mistake at Spoon or 130i, he's not going to have any chance at going for a lunge into Casio Triangle.
No, and that's unfortunate. But again, like you said, these races are so short. It doesn't really feel like it. You think, 10 minutes, I've got some time. No, you don't. Nope, you have absolutely no time at all. A 1 second gap may as well be, like 3 or 4 seconds at that point. You have to do double or triple the work at times. You have to push so hard if you want to make that gap. But here we go then. Dalton Zavadil doing what we've seen so many times this season, and once again winning in the opening heats is the American. Crosses the line 0.4 of a second ahead of Pascal Costa, and Costa did give him a decent run for his money, but was just a touch little bit slower as Hapasha manages to hold off Sabota, who finishes in 4th and winning in the Pro-Ams, and Griefson inside that top 10, only just, but that's a good chunk of points for him. And now, over to you, Shakaria. What can you do in your heat race? Can you live up to what Griefson has done and get a huge chunk of points? Because, I think this might go down to the wire, Sam. I don't know.
Yeah, I think maybe Greason might be a little bit faster today. Greason was unlucky though that no one made any mistakes in that race really. Like Lazarus of course started further back, but was fast enough to move his way back through. But yeah, often we see in these heats quite a few errors and a couple of pros. So you can think back to Atlanta where we had I think 4 of the pros round at turn 1. But none of that happens in that heat. So yeah, Greason could have done better there had he got a bit of luck. We'll see if Sequeira gets a bit of luck himself. Hatcher, by the way, is still out there on track, so he disconnected and rejoined the session. So that is why we aren't transferring straight over. But I may as well take this opportunity to thank our sponsors, Apex Racing Academy, for sponsoring this series. Of course, we are transferring over to the 2025 Season 2 build very, very soon, and Apex Racing Academy will be providing setups and track guides and everything that comes in an Apex Racing Academy data pack for the Porsche Cup over the next 12 weeks once the season transfers over, as well as also GT3 cars and single-seater cars and prototype cars. Loads of stuff on Apex Racing Academy. I think it's something up to 50 cars now being covered by the service. So do check out apexracingac.com, get yourself a subscription and be in the best place to gain some iRacing in iRacing 2025 Season 2. Here's the grid for Heat 2. Philip Hammer is on pole for this one ahead of Corby Warren. Salvatore Lane with one of his best qualifyings of the season up there in 3rd. Then it's Joe Vegard-Goddestad, Ben Pedersen, Luke Andrews, Miles Hemming, Misha Berger, George Tyler, Helder Sequeira, who of course is the amateur championship leader, Azbej Skovic, Michael Velasquez in 12th, Tommy Vadal, Jamie Edwards, Tobias Stoll, and Kane Crawford, who had a qualifying ban.
No, I don't even have time to speak. They're all ready to go as we wait for the 5 red lights.
Yes, here we go then. The 5 lights are coming on. And away we launch. How good a start is for Hammer. It's not the best start, and already moving his nose ahead is Colby Warren. He's got the inside line into first curve, but Hammer is carrying more speed. He's got to keep carrying it round, try to use the banking, and Hammer may just survive this one. Once again, the pole system not getting the best start, but can he hold on? Because back comes Warren again, and he's now got the outside line, and he has the lead. They're too wide. Further back, off goes Ben Pedersen into the gravel. He's going to have a lot of work to get back into the top 8 from there, but it's a great start from Corby Warren.
Yeah, that was a fantastic getaway, and not only that, he managed to fight one of the most experienced drivers and a former champion into the lead in those first few corners. That was great from Colby Warren. And can he now keep this lead? That was definitely an off-track cussing there, Colby. Be careful, you don't want to get a slowdown, especially now that you're leading. I don't think we've been able to say that this season, but he has been steadily getting better and better, has Colby Warren. And remember, he's just a privateer, just a lonely boy, not part of any team. But then again, so are our top 3, so fair play to all of them. Here's Michael Velasquez trying to look for a move on Vadal for 12th place. Sequeira is still in 10th. Initially lost a place off at the start, but thanks to Ben Pedersen's incident, he's now gained that back. So at the moment, if Sequeira finishes where he is, of course, the points will remain the same in the AM standings as Edwards gets past Stoll, as the German now moves down to 15th place. But still, Colby Warren out in front, and hopefully with track position, he should be in a good position to keep this.
Yeah, he will be tricky to overtake. I mean, yeah, sure, Hammer might be a little bit faster out on circuit, but look how close they are. This is looking like a much more racy Heat 2 than we saw in Heat 1. Skovic has had a bit of an issue, by the way. He's dropped a few places. Might even drop behind Helder Sequeira, so Skovic had a really good start. But has lost them again. Here comes Hammer. He's getting his nose ahead. It's almost a carbon copy of what we saw on lap 1 between these two. And last time, it was Warren who managed to get ahead. There's almost contact. There may have been contact between the pair of them. But exactly like it was earlier on, Warren with a better exit from turn 2. And he gets ahead for turn 3. But Hammer is looking fairly irresistible right now.
Yeah, it does seem to be. As long as you can just hold on to that inside line going into turn 2, you will most likely be able to keep the lead. And that's probably just going to be Colby Warren's strat, is just get a great exit out that last corner, get as good as a run as humanly possible, as Philip Hammer got an amazing run here, tucked nicely into the slipstream, pulled out to the left, and like you said, Sam, tried exactly what he did on that first lap. Seems to be running a little bit less downforce than his American rival, but round the outside, he nearly managed to get it, but just did not have the grip round there, and Colby Warren swooped in into turn 3 and manages to keep the lead for now, as Philip Hammer has had an incident. He's now down to 4th. I suspect pushing far too hard, and he's now down to 6th. Maybe a slowdown somewhere. Don't know where he would have gotten that, but perhaps on the exit of Daytona 2, maybe, or going into the hairpin, I think.
Yeah, troubles for him there, and yeah, this is not the way that he wanted his final race of the season to go, because he needed to have an almost perfect score in order to have any shot, and this is how it happens, and it's all by himself, isn't it? Just gets... Or did he have a slowdown? Maybe he had a slowdown.
Maybe, because how did he lose 4 positions from that? That was very strange. I am a little bit of a loss. So he goes deep into this corner, and it's a tiny bit deep, and I mean, maybe there was a slowdown somewhere, and just listening out for a throttle, I can hear him lifting. Yeah.
So probably cut the one of the Degners. I'm not quite sure which one.
Probably one?
Yeah, I think that's why.
Yeah,
maybe.
I'd be guessing.
I mean, these cars can take the curves very well, can't they? So, yeah.
Yeah, that's... I don't really know. This track isn't really known for the slowdowns, thankfully, because the slowdowns in iRacing are interesting, to say the least. I don't really know where he would have gotten it. I've never seen anyone cut Degner 1 so much they've got on a slowdown, admittedly. Maybe on the outside of here? Maybe he went too much on the exit of here? I don't know. I really don't know. But he did pick up a slowdown somewhere and is now falling down to 5th. Like you said, not a great way to start this second heat and this final heat race of the season. And if he finishes where he is now, he's going to be in 10th starting in the A final. That is awful for Philip Hammer. He's got a lot of work to do if he does. But I can imagine he will at least get past Luke Andrews here. I think he's looking quite racy, getting up to the back of the Brit. Don't know if he'll manage to get past Larnay, and I don't think he'll get past Goddestad. I think Larnay's the maximum he'll be able to get here, but he's going to have to push with just over halfway, nearly coming up to the 6-minute mark. Getting a nice run down here into 130R we go. Small lift. Bit difficult to follow a car through here. Is he going to go up the inside into the last corner? No, he chooses to go the safe route. And it doesn't surprise me. Philip Hammer is a very, very experienced and clean racer. Oh, that's a send and a half. That's way too late for Vadal. Oh, that's a spin as well for Skofig. That was extremely awkward.
Yeah, I think he just lost it by himself. I think maybe... Was Vadal trying to overtake one car and thought, oh no, I'm going to hit another car, and so just let out the dots and try to avoid everyone. Hammer has got past Andrews, by the way, so he's up to 3rd place. This is how it happened.
Oh dear.
So yeah, I guess he just thought that, yeah, I'm going to hit that other car. He unnecessarily... Oh no, he did the right thing. I thought he was going to take that silly chicane, which would be the equivalent of taking those, going around those bollards or the polystyrene at Monza. It's like, don't do it. Why would you do that? Why are you scared of hitting polystyrene? It's imaginary polystyrene. So, no, he did the right thing, just went across the gravel. This was how Hammer got past Andrews. Andrews just fell a little bit out of the draft. Not that the draft is very strong in these cars, but it was helping him stay ahead by staying in the draft of Larnay. He lost it, though, and Hammer's up to 4th place, and maybe...
Oh, Shakira!
Oh, wow. Commonplace loser.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. That is absolutely tragic. He was setting up in 9th as well. That would have been absolutely glorious for him, but that little error, I imagine he's probably just tried to take too much out of the track on the exit of turn 7 there. Probably got on throttle far too early. And let's have a look through here. Looks quite good. That's very weird.
Maybe a little bit on the curb. Could have lost him a bit of grip there.
I
But he was running in 9th, like you say.
Yeah, I don't know. That's very strange. I honestly think that's unlucky. I don't blame Helder for that at all. I'm going to be completely honest. I think that's iRacing. I honestly think that's just iRacing being iRacing there. That's very harsh. The car looked completely settled, completely fine going through there. And I don't even think he was on the curb. I think the only thing I can think of is he got onto the white lines on the outside, and maybe that's a bit slippery. I don't know. That's the best I can think of. That's really unlucky. I feel absolutely heartbroken for him, as that has pulled the points gap right down. As we're on the white flag, by the way, so not really much of a chance for him to gain any other places unless there's more incidents ahead. But it doesn't look likely. But you never know what can happen in these races, as Pedersen up to 10th now as a result of that, after, of course, having his incident on that first lap could possibly put himself directly next to Corey Lazarus if he can get past Velasquez, which is looking likely. He looks much, much quicker than the Filipino right now. But I can't get Helder out of my mind. That's heartbreaking, Sam. I feel so bad.
Yeah, that was a very unfortunate one there. I think he did have a rear tyre just clipping the curb, and I think that may have just been at such high loads. I think just a tiny little bit less grip can make the difference. Here's another replay. Maybe we'll just see whether he did. Yeah, I think he tapped it, but I'm not entirely sure.
I can't blame him for that. That's just where the car's gonna be. I've seen so many people take that line. I don't think that's his fault at all. I just think that's iRacing being silly, but that's just my opinion. But let's hope that he can have a comeback into the B final, as I thought that was a bit deep from Stoll, as surely Skofic is going to go right up the inside, and he does the Slovenian very, very clean move, and benefiting from the German's mistake, as Colby Warren, I believe for the first time, is about to take a victory in a heat race, as he's coming across the line now, and it's a double American delight for both heat races today. That is brilliant from Colby Warren. I think, yeah, that definitely is his first win. Weaving his way across the line. Congratulations to him. That is a momentous moment. Really, really well done. And Lane beating Luke Andrews in the Pro-Ams, and Velasquez a shock win in 9th place there. And I mean, Sam, can you maybe do some calculations? Is he still mathematically in the championship?
Well, I mean, he's still championship leader. Like, the gap was 19 points going into this round. Velasquez?
Yes.
No. I mean, Velasquez is, I think, too far out of it, unfortunately. Unless he won the whole race, he would unfortunately be out of it. But I mean, I don't know, like, genuinely, if he got like a top 5, like, things like that can happen. It could change around. But for Sequeira, the gap's now down to 11 points in the championship. So it was 21 points going into this round. It's now down to 11. He needs to make sure that he gets through into the A final. Does Sequeira, in order to give himself the best shot. This is his chance to do so. But it's a very strong grid, obviously. It's the B final. Lazarus on pole. Velasquez in second. Then it's Gruson, Pedersen, Strand, Edwards, Clays, Vidal, and Verm. And Skovic. That's the top 10. 15 drivers will be taken to the grid. We've got Sequeira in 14th place. So if he wants to win the title, this is what it's going to come down to. Ben Pedersen having a few connection issues. I think a couple of other. I think Jamie Edwards is having connection issues as well. Let's see if they can all get away from the grid. Corey Lazarus revving up his engine. And away we launch. It's another bad start for our pole sitter. And Adam Gruson is going to be attacking from 3rd place. In fact, it wasn't too bad for Lazarus. And he will keep the lead. It seemed like he bogged down a little bit. Oh, there's a contact there. And Gruson is wide. And now there's contact. No. And Gruson's chances of the championship may just have gone. And regardless now of what happens to his championship rival Sequeira, Gruson is in a dire position.
Oh, it's just heartbreak after heartbreak for our AM championship rivals. And again, that was just absolutely unlucky. Wrong place, wrong time for him. It looked brilliant. I mean, he got an amazing start. As here we go, Thomas Vidal and Porter Ruiz going wheel to wheel, heading up the hill and into the first Dagner, as Ruiz manages to get into 4th. and just about fighting off the challenge from behind. But again, so unlucky from Griefson. That's just another heartbreak. And surely, once all this action on this first lap calms down, we need to get a replay. I didn't really see what happened there. Oh, that's an aggressive move from Suzuka up the inside into ninth. He wants to make sure this championship is secured. He is not taking any chances, and especially after that disappointing heat race, he kind of needs to take a bit of risk now. But after what happened with Griefson, maybe he doesn't. We will keep an eye as Tobias Stoll trying to look up the inside of Iglesias, but wasn't close enough. Skofic has gotten past Clays for 6th place, as Edwards is blipping in and out of existence, as Hatcher now getting past Stoll. Not really having a good opening lap is Tobias Stoll, but Griefson. Again, I just want to give these drivers a hug. I feel terrible.
Yeah, we'll have a see what happens. He was on the outside, was the 354. And it's just at the top of your screen there. Oh, I think it's quite a bad maneuver, wasn't it, from the car behind?
Yeah, that's going to be a penalty.
And then, of course, they collided.
Velasquez.
Interesting, yeah, so that was Velasquez. So here it was again. Poor. And Griefson is fully ahead, and then Velasquez taps him once, gets the Porsche alongside.
Taps him again.
Taps him again. And then of course,
squeezes.
On the inside of all of them was Pedersen.
Yeah. Yeah, that was 3 bad moves there from Velasquez. He tapped Griefson twice and then completely squeezed Pedersen to the point where he ended up spinning himself out. So, yep, that's I can imagine that's going to be a fairly big penalty for Velasquez. That was far too aggressive on the opening lap. And, well, he's down in 15th, so perhaps maybe karma has already struck and doesn't really need a penalty, but we'll see what the stewards say regardless. As we move back up to the front, it's Matt Strand in 3rd place, a fairly nifty position for him, as defending very hard from Porter Ruiz, who locks up, and, half spins as well. Got to be careful, and that was netcode. That was complete netcode, and that is unfortunate for him, as Griefson has managed to get up into 12th from all of that, and Shakira now up into 8th place. So I don't know if it's over, but
so Griefson basically needs to get into the A final. Like if he's not in the top 4, I think it's almost over. So okay. I'm not fancying his chances. I mean, if we see Sakura drop down the order, then I'll start doing some more maths. Oh, this is getting racy here. Clay's barely ahead of Porter Ruiz, who comes back through 130R, and that was the slowest they'll go through 130R all day long. And you can see how Sakura's now got a run on these drivers, getting held up by them all. He's now sat right on the tail of Verm, and then just behind that is another ACA esports driver, Ruben Iglesias.
I believe these guys are from Andorra, correct? True. If my flag knowledge, yes, okay. Very, very small country in northern Spain or south of France, whichever one you want to prefer. A tiny country, absolutely tiny. Known mostly for skiing, I believe. I know a few people who've gone there skiing and said it's very, very nice, so fair enough. I can imagine it's probably quite a nice and expensive place to live. I can't imagine they actually live in Andorra. I'd be very surprised if they do. There's probably a question we need to ask them.
Yeah, we should probably ask them. I think, yeah, I'm not an expert on Andorra, but I think there's like tens of thousands of residents.
Oh, Verm's gone.
Oh dear. Oh yeah, he's actually spun. Sorry, I thought that was a connection thing, but no, he has spun, and he does the right thing to not rejoin terribly. So that's another place then for Griefson. He's up into 11th place now. But he's got Velasquez very close behind. Hopefully Velasquez has seen some humility after early run. These two, after spinning off, have been glued to one another ever since, I believe. Here was the defence. And I think he'd been lining that up before had Franca Porto Ruiz, thinking, I'm going to go on the inside this time to the hairpin. And then the driver had defended it, and his whole plan was scuppered.
Yeah. I think I agree with you on that one. And it just tried to thunder throttle it coming out with a hairpin and got it all wrong. I think that was definitely netcode. with the car that he spun round. I don't think that was on him really. So shouldn't be punished for that. At least I don't think he should be.
85,000
there you
people
go.
living in Andorra.
85,000 people. That is tiny. Absolutely small. For reference, I think Iceland has about 300,000, and I consider that small. So, yeah, that's not a big population at all. Less than 100,000. They probably know each other. Like every single person. Sikera has actually been overtaken by his teammate for 7th place. But I wouldn't be surprised if most Andorrans are fairly friendly with one another. Apparently, they speak French, Portuguese. And I can imagine there's a bit of Spanish in there as well. I can't imagine they have their own language. I'd be very shocked if they have their own language. Since it's such a small country, they'd have to make it up all by themselves. And yes, as Josh just said, Andorran does sound a little bit Star Warsy, to be honest. As Vidal getting hounded now by Porter Ruiz, who's probably driving with red mist a little bit, as Sikera actually getting back ahead of his teammate. That looked a little bit tactical there. I can't imagine why Sikera was let go in the first place, as Velasquez and Greaveson. Oh, not again. Oh, it's over.
It's over. It's Greaves over.
Oh,
unfortunately.
That suspension is, yeah. Oh dear. Oh dearie me. Adam Greaveson. That is heartbreaking.
And of course, it all came down to that lap point. I think it was all by himself that he went off. I think Sikera was having a mighty back. Oh no, it was Sikera.
Velasquez.
Oh, Velasquez, apologies. Yeah. Although actually he was coming up then to a slower car ahead, went to the inside, well overshot it. So it was his fault. It was Stoll who was trying to overtake, and then when he rejoined, Stoll could have done a little bit better there. I know you can argue that it's Greaveson's responsibility to rejoin safely, but
where's he meant to go?
Sure, where else is he meant to rejoin? Exactly, there's
exactly.
like a bridge. So
yeah, that's the most crabby suspension I think I've ever seen, and actually still facing somewhat in the right direction. So I mean, he's at least trying to get back to the pit. But he has got fight left in him, as that is Stephen Clays trying to unsettle Porter Ruiz, and he's actually done it. He put enough pressure on the Andorran, and he managed to get past him. That was very, very smart from Steve Clays. That was brilliant. As now we're running Andorra 6, 7, 8. That's quite nice. A bit weird that is Porter Ruiz part of the same team? I don't know. I don't think he is. I could be completely wrong.
He's part of ACA, yeah. So we got Porter Ruiz,
Sikera,
and Iglesias all part of ACA in this championship. I think there's one other ACA driver as well, but I don't think they're around today. Skovic close to the back of Stoll after his wars. I don't know if Stoll has got any damage on that car. There's 2 collisions with Greaves on that last lap. Clays might be overtaken by Porter Ruiz again. Ruiz likes this move. Well, he likes attempting it at least. It's got a 0% success ratio so far. But Vidal is struggling quite a bit. Vidal was 3 seconds slower than leaders. I think he picked up a slowdown on the last lap, and so he's not very quick, and he is making this 4th spot very, very entertaining. Top 3 absolutely sprinting away. And a quick shout out to everyone who's watching along. If Gabriel Salomon's still watching around, welcome Gabriel. Of course, one of our former champions, had a fantastic championship run, came in as a rookie and absolutely dominated en route to the title a year and a half ago or so. Or maybe it was only a year ago, actually. So yeah, great to see you around, and everyone else who's supporting, some Corby Warren fans as well in chat.
Yep, I remember that Salomon season very, very well. That was just brilliant. I think it was you and me doing that season as well.
Yes, yep, and Josh as well.
Yeah, so it's all come full circle, isn't it? I'm surprised I haven't seen... yes, Vidal had an awful previous lap and is going to come under pressure here very much as Steve Clays up into 4th. He really is having a race of his life, and like I said before, that's Porter Ruiz. Has he got damage? He completely is off the road, and now he's down and out of it. This has been quite an interesting B final. One of the more interesting ones we've had this season. If I'm being completely honest, most of them have been a bit dull, but this one's been brilliant so far. That was a great move from Clays, and then I think Ruiz got a bit of damage from that, or did... Yeah, no, actually, yeah, you're right. I think he just gave up. I mean, he's had a frustrating race, but I mean, I would say it's mostly on him. I don't know. Maybe that's being a bit harsh, but
Yes.
yeah.
I mean, I don't think it's been the worst race in the race. He sort of had a half spin, didn't he? And then that little bit of contact. But yeah, I think he needs to cool up in some snow after that race, and hopefully we'll see him back for next season. We're watching Asda Hatcher. Of course, had connection issues in Heat 1, and that really ruled him out of a decent grid position for this B final. And he's driven well since then, though. He's up 7 places, but he's barely ahead of Michael Velasquez, who has had issues for himself. Of course, with this 14 minutes B final, means that we're soon going to be on the last lap of the race. So just signed their last lap now, as we've got alongside between Skovic and Stoll. And Stoll is going to lose... going to win out on that one, sorry. And underneath both of them, Jamie Edwards, who's still blinking. Oh, and Edwards!
Oh, dear.
Well, I think that was because of the blinking.
Yeah, I agree completely. Edwards definitely needs to call his network provider and tell them that they are not doing a good enough job, because he's been blinking this entire race. So, yeah, the struggles. I think I had it when we did Formula 1 last week. For some reason, my internet just decided not to work for the last 7 laps. So that wasn't fun. So we can see what actually happened here. And let's look at Edwards. Blinks and... Yeah.
Yeah, they were already
agree,
making contact, basically, weren't they? When he, like, rejoined. So, yeah, no chance there. So we are on the last lap, and could there be any changes for the top 4 places? It looks like Vidal is fending off Sequeira. Not for long. Sequeira has now got ahead of Vidal. But Vidal has deceased.
Oh, he's been
in the gravel. And I think there may have been contact, because they were very close to one another going into that corner.
Yeah, I agree. That was very close. And he's now all the way down in 11th. Well, Sequeira, I mean, he couldn't really have asked for a better B final, to be honest, for himself, really. Here is what happened to Tommy Vidal.
No, it was better.
And it's the same thing, really, as what happened to Sequeira. Nearly took him out. That could have been tragic if that had taken out Sequeira. I mean, I don't know how much that would have changed things in terms of the championship. I think he's pretty much sewn up now.
He would have been all right.
Yeah, I think it's pretty much over with now. Skovic getting very close to Stoll. Stoll's not had an easy one at all. He's come under pressure pretty much this entire time. Someone who's the complete opposite. Corey Lazarus, who's had probably one of the easiest races of his life, wins the B final and will be starting in not last. I tried to math, but I can't. I've completely blanked.
17th.
Yeah, there you go.
Strand nearly passed Pedersen at the end there. I don't really know how he got that close, but it was only 300ths in the end. So he just missed out on that one, but still good for Strand. Clay's good to see him back in the A final, because he had a mega run back at Sebring, but it's not been a great couple of weeks for him. But he's through. So Carrera misses out. So everyone from 5th down to 16th. That's the end of their season. Hopefully they all know it. There was a message posted to them, so I hope no one's running in. I hope Sequeira in 5th place isn't looking forward to the A final now. They were told that it's only the top 4 progress into the A final today. And that man, Adam Greason, his championship bid is over. So we can announce then our amateur champion for this season is going to be Helder Sequeira. That's the end of the season for him, but he's done enough. Had Greason got into the A final, he would have needed something like top 15 in order to win the title, so it could have been very interesting. But Greason's contact in lap 1 ended his shots. Otherwise, I think he would almost certainly have been in the top 4.
Yeah, I agree. And maybe there might be some words that will be said after this one to Velasquez. I'm not sure. I don't know how angry Grooveson will be. I mean, I would be. I know that. I would be. Oh, God. I would be seeing more than red mist. Yeah, that was far too aggressive from Velasquez. And then bumps into Pedersen as well there. And then takes out Grooveson for the second time. So, yeah. Again, I can imagine a penalty probably coming his way as Grooveson finally crosses the line, immediately slams on the brakes, and is probably going to alt F4.
So we session over into the warm-up. 3-minute warm-up for these drivers to do whatever they want. I will give another shout out, by the way, to the Apex Racing Academy. Do sign up over at apexracingac.com in order to get yourself a bronze, silver or gold subscription ready for the new season. Going to have some good offers as well when it comes to Sebring 12 hours. So do keep your eyes tuned on the Apex Racing Academy social medias. And also check out the Apex Racing Academy Sebring 2.4 hours. It's a one-off community event that Apex Racing League and Apex Racing Academy are hosting. It is obviously 2.4 hours of Sebring in the GTP, the LMP2 and the GTD classes. So it's totally free to enter. It's just a bit of fun. We've had over 60 drivers sign up already. The event's going on in a couple of weeks' time. Will be broadcast on Apex Racing TV. So if you're interested in getting some extra preparation for the Sebring 12, just sign up at apexracingleague.com. Once again, there's a link in the description below. Put your name down, and we will be broadcasting that one.
Tempted to sign up. I don't know.
Are you doing Sebring 12?
No. No, absolutely not. I don't have the time or the effort or the motivation to do the Sebring 12. And like we were talking about before we went live, I've kind of fallen in love with Le Mans Ultimate, which I know to a lot of people watching is going to sound like sacrilege, because people who like iRacing really like iRacing. So calm down. I'm allowed to like other sims. But no, on a serious note, anyone that hasn't tried the new Le Mans Ultimate update, go do it, because the GT3 cars feel absolutely amazing, and some of the most fun I've had in sim racing in recent times. No, that's probably an awkward thing to say on an iRacing broadcast. So, yeah, we'll probably just move on before I plug Le Mans Ultimate anymore. Considering
well,
that,
I think it's fine. I think everyone realizes now. I think those people who maybe are blind to iRacing's issues. I don't think there's too many of them anymore. And if you are one of them, there are issues. But of course, every game has issues.
Well, competition's good, right?
Exactly. And I mean, like, hosting a series like this and doing broadcasts, the levels that we can do them, no sim comes close. So they all have pros and cons. Pretty cool that we get to do this type of format. And with the heat racing format, with the elimination and stuff, and all being in one server, is pretty neat. We are just transferring now into the race. The warm-up is over. Lots of drivers went back out, trying to get a little bit extra practice in there. Of course, the conditions will be changing slightly, but I think it's still pretty much minimum temperatures. We're using the 1st of March as the in-sim date for this track, and so it's pretty chilly out there. About 18 degrees Celsius, not much above that, so plenty of grip for the drivers to use. As we get up for the final time this season, it's Dalton Zavadil leading an American 1-2 on the grid. Corby Warren is alongside him. Then it is Pascal Costa, who had a great start, remember, in his heat. He's starting from 3rd place. Then it's Joe Vegard Godestad, Matej Hapacha, Salvatore Lane is top of the Pro-Ams. Then it's Miroslav Saboda, Philip Hammer with work to do from 8th. Then it's Bjorklund, Andrews, Marshall Hemming, Pisco, Tyler, Kokok, Berger, Lazarus, Pedersen, Strand, and Clays. The 1-am in the Japan.
Yeah, Clay's absolutely brilliant today, and let's see what he can do in this A final and hopefully end the season on a high and make a statement for his title challenge next season if he decides to return. But if he does, I can assure you he will be right at the top of the AMs, and who knows, maybe he might slot nicely into a Pro-Am. We'll wait and see.
We will see if Dalton Zavadil can win his final race of the season. He's got the championship sewn up pretty much. He just needs to convert this final race. Here we go. Zavadil from the pole. It's not a brilliant start for him, but it will be good enough to stay ahead of Corby Warren. Look out for Pascal Costa. He's going to commit hard to the outside. And it looks like Costa is already up into second place. No hesitation. And if Warren hesitated just a little bit there, he certainly paid the price for it. Good start for Luke Andrews. He's up a place. Poor start for Salvatore Lane, our Pro-Am pole sitter, down 5 places in the first couple of corners.
Oh yeah, he definitely mapped his clutch wrong, if he even has one. Either that, or he just got a huge ton of wheel spin off the start as Philip Hammer going very close with Svoboda, as Svoboda actually got bumped there by Luke Andrews off of the racing line, and now Luke is ahead of Svoboda, and I believe it's now Hapacha who might be leading in the Pro-Ams. I could be completely wrong on that. But Miles Hemming, as we can see, riding on board with him. This is the chaos of Porsche Cups on lap 1. You're all just fending off one another, and it's just desperation a lot of the time. As look how close everyone is. That's Ben Pedersen, I believe. Actually, no, he is. Oh, no, it's Misha Berger getting past Coco. My apologies. As he made a very good move into the hairpin there. Now up into 15th place. Corey Lazarus up 3 places, as that is George Tyler. I think you might have had an incident. He just lost a few places. And not sure what happens here. Ben Pedersen now into Spoon has had a spin. And, well, that's pretty much going to be him out of the fight for the moment.
Pedersen who went off through that corner in the first place and then continued to fall. So not sure what's going on with Pedersen. Maybe a hardware issue, because that's a strange one to go off there. As it's a copy of what we had in race 1. Zavadil holding off Costa, and Costa again looking very good on this lap 1, and this might be his best chance because his attack sort of faded away as the first heat went along. And yeah, so this could be his best chance to overtake over the course of the next 18 minutes. The gap at 0.2 of a second, top 4 close. Looks like Goddestad has found a little bit of pace after struggling in the early stages of qualifying. The 205 having to go defensive as well of Misha Berger on Friedrich Kokoch, but not really too many moves into turn 1. And it is Luke Andrews, top of the Pro-Am drivers, and actually he's lost a bit of time to Philip Hammer ahead and got Miroslav Svoboda very keen to be past him, because as you said, Aaron, he pushed him out of the way through this very corner on that one.
That was a bit naughty from Luke Andrews, but I don't think he's upset Svoboda too much, considering he's already champion. So this is the thing as a driver, when you're in a good mood, and I don't think anything upsets you. You know, you spin and you're like, oh damn it, oh such a shame. But when you're angry as a driver, oh dear, yeah, it's it's very much you know, 2 different sides of a coin. The emotions racing on a sim, especially like iRacing, where all of these guys are fighting for wins, championships, and you know, prizes. It can get really, really heated, as we've already seen plenty of times this season. But up at the front, Dalton Zavadil holding his own very, very nicely. Lazarus now making some progress up into 13th, now up 4 places from where he started. And Sam, once again, I'm going to call on your math skills. What is the point standings looking like in the pros? I imagine probably quite good for Zavadil.
Like, I'm not sure if he can lose it. I don't think he can lose it from here. Because I think had they scored like the same amount of points in the heat, then I think it would have needed to be like 1st and 15th. But seeing that Hammer lost so many points in the heat, I think he's got it in the bag. Because remember, like, the worst that Zavadil can finish is P20 with the limited grid we have for today. And the way that it works is that all the A final drivers score more points than all the B final drivers. So I think it's wrapped up. Zavadil's got the championship in the bag. And there's nothing that Hammer can do after that disappointing heat. But he's trying to get past Mater Hapacha here. You can still see that group ahead, and at the moment that group ahead, that top 4 places are staying very close to one another, and Hammer really wants to get in on it before maybe they start to spread out again.
Yeah, Hammer probably really needs to get past Hapacha here. But just where do you go for it? Does he try and go around for a risky move, round one of the S's? Or maybe does he try into the hairpin if he can stick close enough? He is literally on the back bottom of Hapacha. I don't think I've seen a driver this close to someone else at all today. So Hapacha definitely struggling for pace around here. Now 9/10 to Goddestad ahead. So Hammer really has to make a move here. Does he go for a dive bomb into the hairpin? He doesn't. So he is playing the patient game. And like we've said before, Hammer is a very, very patient, very, very clean, experienced driver. So I don't expect him to do anything rash. He's just going to wait for his opportunity, go up the inside, and hopefully make his way back up to the front of the field.
Oh, very close between Berger, Kokok, and Tyler further down the order. The three of them are almost on top of one another, going through 100R right now. Here they are, and it's 3 wide almost into Spoon Corner. Kokok being overtaken by Tyler, and Tyler's going to launch a good run out of that corner and maybe try to attack Misha Berger as well at the front of this queue.
Yeah, I can't believe that we use on top of each other as a genuine phrase, to be honest, in racing. It just sounds a bit strange. Oh, there's contact there between Berger and Tyler there. Little bits of contact, but that was a replay of Ben Pedersen. Not sure what happened there. I think Pedersen might have had another incident. He's really, really having a tough race, and I wouldn't be surprised if Pedersen will probably retire from this one, as Kokok, Tyler, and Berger all racing one another. Oh, that's an aggressive move from Tyler. It's off for Steve Clays as he goes deep into turn 1. I think Berger's just going to keep this one, but there's contact, and George Tyler spins round Misha Berger. And you could kind of see that one coming. Misha was squeezing him a bit, and Tyler was kind of... Oh, that was just awkward.
Misha sort of was quite wide through turn 2, a bit unnecessarily. This is how it all started on the previous lap. Berger trying to defend from Kokok this time, and Berger actually going beyond the track limits, and that was how Tyler was able to get underneath, and then that, of course, put him in the position to be able to make his move down into
Kokok.
turn 1 the next lap, as Kokok has had his own spin and he respins it. We saw that loads on Thursday in the GT3 trophy, and it just happens when you overheat the tyres, and yeah, he went wide through the first part and had no chance in the second.
Yeah, I mean, iRacing is definitely well known for its hot tyre issue, which apparently they are remedying, especially with the GTPs. They've announced many, many changes, so hopefully it fixes them being 10 seconds quicker than they are in real life. I don't know how they managed to do that, but they did. As Philip Hammer still stuck behind Hapacha. I would have expected him to really make some ground here, as that Sabota still stuck behind Luke Andrews as well. As Hapacha, I imagine, is being helped by the slipstream in front, definitely making it difficult for Philip Hammer to try and find a way through. But the top 6 still within 2.2 seconds. Very, very close in this championship, and it has been most of this season. Which is why it's even more weird that Zavadil has absolutely dominated. Yeah, just saw that as Luke Andrews. Not much he can do, and there's more contact again. As Sabota off into the gravel, and that is not the way he would want to end the season.
No, that may have been a bit too ambitious for Sabota. I think we'll have to get a second view of that, maybe from the chopper or something, because yeah, I'm not sure if at first glance it looked like he might have squeezed a little bit Luke Andrews, who's bended all the way to the inside, and Andrews has made a little bit of a break for it now with Bjorkland. Here is the replay. Who did? Oh, there was a bit of netcode, to be fair, as well, but it 100% was not Andrews' fault. Andrews was basically on the curb, so Sabota playing the risk, and he got unlucky that time with the netcode.
Yeah, that's the trouble with a corner like turn 1, is going around the outside. You need absolute confidence where the other car is, because it is difficult to tell, because, you know, you can't really just look to your right the whole time, because, you know, you're focusing on the corner, you're focusing on not spinning. You have so many things to think about as a driver, and trying to leave, you know, the perfect amount of room so you can overtake them but be fair at the same time. There's a lot that goes into it, and unfortunately Sabota there just slightly misjudged it. and has paid the price, but it's lucky that he hasn't got a championship to fight for. So he can just chill probably for the rest of the race. Maybe get some overtakes done here and there. But I can imagine he won't be happy, but he's not going to be fuming about that one, luckily.
Yeah, he's not even that far down the order, is he? He's in 14th place now. There's been issues for other drivers which have cost them more. Octavio Pisco is up into 13th place now. And Warren's lost a bit of time now to the top two, which is sort of what we expected to happen about 8 minutes ago, but he did really well at keeping up for as long as he did. And that might leave him vulnerable now to Goddestad, seeing that he doesn't have as much of a draft from the lead cars. And Davidor looking more and more confident. He's pulled away by a 10th that last time round. And so unless he has some kind of drop off late on, it's looking very likely he's going to beat out Costa. And of course, Costa has got a fair amount of race wins. I think he's got the same amount of race wins this season as Davidor. Apart from them two, Despotakis won one round, but Hammer, amazingly, despite finishing in easy second place this season, has not won a race. He's finished second twice and third 3 times, and also maybe 5th as well. But yeah, not a race win for him this season, at least in an A final. So looking good for Zabdil to chalk up one more of them.
Yeah, I don't think Zavadil could have asked for a better season, to be honest. Apart from round 1, I guess that was a little bit sloppy, but the rest of the season has pretty much gone the way of the American. And I mean, he has been just massively impressive this entire season. And hopefully, if we get another season and he decides to compete again, these drivers can give up a bit more of a fight. And the thing about, these championship drivers as well is, it's not just their speed that's the surprise, it's the consistency of their speed. Because, I mean, some drivers on certain qualifying laps, certain laps in the race, can be just as quick as Dalton Zavadil, as that's very wide for Gordon Marshall. That's not the line through 130R at all. But when a driver is consistently quick and setting those lap times over and over again with basically no mistakes, that's when it gets a bit scary. And that is what Dalton Zavadil has basically been doing most of this season. He has been just in a class of his own, consistently setting good laps just again and again and again. And even in the 1 hour races, it's not really changed. He's still been right up there, no matter what format we throw at him, no matter what temperatures or weather conditions. He just seems to cope with it extremely well. And that's exactly the qualities you want to see in a championship winning driver.
Yeah, but he's going to go back-to-back seasons as well, it looks like. Very close between Marshall and Lane, down to 0.2 of a second. Looks like Marshall has a plan to hold on to those positions, and he's executing it well right now. It's the man currently in P9 overall, but with Lazarus very close as well behind. Here they are. There could be a move on here for Lane. Doesn't usually hesitate when it comes to going for an overtake. There's a collision ahead. Can these guys get through it? Oh, that's an awful... No, don't rejoin like that. Andrews, well, he's maybe a little bit under review after a lap 1 contact. And Saboda's had his own incident as well. Pisco's been overtaken by Tyler. All happening at that hairpin. But that was very, very bad from Luke Andrews. But amazing, I don't think really anyone involved in that got too much damage. Who did Andrews collide with then? Was it Hemming? Or Bjorkland? It was Bjorkland, I think, and Hemming.
Yeah, I think we need to actually see what on earth happened here. As into the hairpin we go. That is not intentional for Bjorkland. That is just an innocent mistake. And does wait for him, so fair enough. And that was Lazarus, I believe, who Luke Andrews hit coming back onto the track. I mean, that's just unfortunate for Bjorkland. He had no intention of doing that, just completely missed his mark there. He was not trying to go for that move. He just wanted to try and avoid Andrews. And again, waited for him. But Andrews had a pretty terrible rejoin and didn't give Lazarus too much damage, I don't think.
No.
As on this lap, Pascal Costa has been getting awfully close to Dalton Zavadil. So possibly giving him a run of his money in these final few laps for this season. I believe we've only got 2 or 3 to go. My math skills have been awful today, honestly.
Two
I need
to
go
go
back
after
to school.
this. One to go after this. Only one to go after this. I've got a lap and a half remaining.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're not halfway around the lap yet.
Mhm.
So yeah, that is going on. Pisco, by the way, of course, was also involved in the collision, and we just had images of Pisco, and I think he may have picked up some damage from his incident with maybe Svoboda. I think he may have collided with Svoboda on that last lap, did Pisco. So Svoboda down to 19th, Kokok out of the race. And still Zavadil up in the lead. But you're absolutely right that Costa has been launching one last attack. The race winner back at Laguna Seca, of course. As well. Ooh, Lazarus trying on Lane, and he tries again.
No.
But new damage model will send the rear driver round, and it will be Mars Hemming who takes advantage.
Yeah,
Sidedraft.
I'm not sure what Lazarus was thinking was going to happen there, admittedly. And now is under pressure from Luke Andrews as well, as Lazarus going very wide and loses the position to Bjorkland as well. And Lazarus, I was just about to mention, he's having a great comeback drive, and then yeah, he's lost a little bit of ground there. He was up 8 places and now only up 5. So the good comeback drive from the Kiwi has been slightly spoiled a bit. As yes, we are on the white flag, so if Pascal is going to go all out, well, he's going to have to do it now. He needs to leave no tread left on those tyres, absolutely no fuel left in the car, and that's already very wide through turn 7.
Well, I think that's his strat. I think we've seen that on previous laps. He likes to really overdrive it into 7 and then sort of go for a compromise line through 8. Don't think it really gained him anything, at least that time, and the gap's gone up a little bit. It's up to 4.5 tenths gains. No, actually he lost a little bit through Techno 2. It looked fast for him, but he lost another half tenth, so yeah, it's not looking good for him. It's more likely that there'll be a move behind, but Godestad and Hammer can't muster anything up into the hairpin.
No, not on this occasion. It's been relatively quiet up at the front of the field. It's not easy to overtake ground here at Suzuka at all. And we've said before, the draft isn't too powerful in this car, and especially round here, it's going to be practically non-existent. You're getting it down the main straight and maybe from Spoon all the way down to 130R, but that's it. You're not really getting it anywhere else, as we might get a move for Godestad. That is the potential. And Hammer on Hepasha. Very, very close between 3rd and 4th and 5th and 6th, so we could see some final moves into the chicane if they can stick close enough. Let's see what Colby Warren could do defensively. That's very wide from Godestad. Don't blame him, using all of the track. And behind as well, Hepasha just about holding off from Philip Hammer. I don't think there's going to be any moves, and it's going to be Dalton Zavadil taking the final victory of the season and rounding out his 2nd championship winning season here in season 12. And what a track to do it at. Suzuka being known for many, many finales over the years. And what a fitting way to wrap up what has been nearly perfect for Dalton Zavadil this season, as Gordon Marshall ends up winning in the Pro-Ams. Very good way for him to end his season. And, well, Steve Clays, my apologies, wins in the AMS, because he's the only one here.
Yeah, he did have one off, didn't he, Clays? But that was the extent of his troubles. It will be interesting to see where he is in the championship. Might move up into 3rd place in the championship, with Velasquez not getting into the A final. And the drivers will do some celebratory donuts to say goodbye to the season. We have a lot of recurring drivers who come back season after season. I'm sure they will be back for season 13 in a couple of months' time. But for now, this is all the Apex Racing Academy Porsche Cup action that they will get for themselves. Pascal Costa clearly not too deflated, doing some drifts on his in-lap. So let's have a look then at the final standings for the final race of the season. And up at the top was Dalton Zavadil, who won out ahead of Pascal Costa. Corby Warren was in 3rd position Then it was Golestad, Hapacha. Top of the Browns was Marshall, Larnay, and Andrews. And of course, as Aaron was saying, top of the amateurs was Steve Clays. And hopefully we'll have some interviews with our drivers. But no one is going to have an interview with us at the moment. And so, Aaron, I'm going to ask you the annoying question. And you can probably guess what it is, because I'm going to put you on the spot. What was the race of the season this season?
Oh, goody. Let me quickly just have a look at the
I'll say what
calendar.
my race of the season was to give yourself a little bit of a rest. I will say I think Imola was my favourite. I think that image of Despotakis, Hammer, and Zaradil alongside on the pit straight with 15 minutes to go fighting for the lead, I thought that was absolutely awesome. And I think that is my pick for this season. We'll get your pick, Aaron, in a moment. But first up, we will drag up our championship winner for this season. It is Dalton Zaradil, who becomes the first two-time champion of the Apex Racing Academy Porsche Cup in the Pro category. Congratulations, Dalton, and a great way to round out your season. But you were pushed all the way today by Pascal.
Yeah, Pascal didn't give me any breathing room. I had to park it a couple of times to try and push him a little bit backwards to leave myself a little bit of space. Yeah, so it wasn't an easy day for sure, but the car felt great. Setup was on point, and obviously can't complain about the result today.
Talk us through the first couple of laps, because at least from our view, it looked like Pascal's biggest challenge was on lap 1. Like, he was super close going to the Casio Triangle, both lap 1s. What did you feel like that was when you were most vulnerable, or was it some other time that you felt you had the best chance?
Yeah, lap 1 I was definitely pretty vulnerable there going into the Casio Triangle for sure. So that's literally the first time where I parked it in the center of the chicane and just said, all right, well, I'm gonna get a really good exit here, and you can not pass me into turn 1. So a little bit of racecraft that I had to pull off in order to pull out the win, but we're happy about it.
And looking back at the season, is there a round that stands out for you?
This was probably my best performance. Round 1 was stands out the most for me. It was my worst performance, and that's the one where I know I could have done better. And if I didn't get into an accident, I probably would have had this championship wrapped up a little while ago. But you know what? We gotta fight back from bad performances and be able to overcome. So did a great job and got the dub.
And what's coming up for yourself in the next few months? With of course, I imagine later on in the year you'll be going for the Pro qualifiers, but that's a few months away. What are you doing in the meantime? Just practicing?
A lot of Porsche Cup, obviously doing the special events here and there. I'll be moving to a new house, buying a house, and so I'm really excited about that. And today I'm obviously going to celebrate this championship win, and then also celebrate my 8th anniversary with my girlfriend. So.
Well, congratulations for everything on that with the house move and everything else, Dalton. Is there anyone you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, obviously big shout out to Fiercely Forward and P1 Docs, the best road racing setups on iRacing. And then, you know, if anybody wants coaching out there, I coach at z24r.com. Colby Warren's probably one of my best students, and he just got a dub here today, so I'm so proud of him, so happy, and couldn't be happier for him as well. So
well, congratulations on a great season, Dalton. We hope to see you back at some point, and yeah, have a very good break.
You too, guys. Thank you so much. Bye bye.
Dalton Zaradil, your champion for this season. Aaron, who would you like to have a chat with?
Well, I can talk with a fellow Pro-Am championship winner. It's Miroslav Soboda. I mean, you didn't obviously have much competition today. It was, you know, sewn up before this race even started. But at least it's official now. Soboda, you are the champion, the Pro-Am champion of this season. How do you feel?
Yeah, I feel great. It's amazing. I really didn't expect it, but yeah, it was. Today was just a horrible day for me, but I'm really proud that it's official now that I'm the Pro-Am champion.
Yeah, I mean, as a fellow Pro-Am champion myself, I can definitely relate to your feelings. It does feel really, really good when it finally happens. And I guess a big question for you is, what was your favourite race of the season? What was the race where you kind of thought, I can actually do this?
It was probably the previous race on Hungaroring. That was a pretty good race for me. I didn't expect it, but yeah, probably that race.
Yeah, there's definitely always one of those races where you just know. And yeah, your performance last time out at Hungaroring was very, very impressive. And after this great season for yourself, are we going to be seeing you in the future? Perhaps if we do another season of the Porsche Cups?
Yeah, probably, yeah. Even though in 2 weeks I'm starting another league, so I hope it's not going to overleap. But yeah, if there's going to be time, I'm going to be doing the next season.
Well, we definitely love to see you back. You've had an amazing season and, of course, come away with a championship. And, well, before we wrap it up, is there anyone you want to give a thanks or shout out to for this amazing season?
Shout out to you guys that you are doing this, and shout out to all opponents on the track. It was a really fun season.
Yeah, it was amazing watching you. A couple of other drivers fighting it out. Even today was a fantastic watch. And thank you so much for coming and having a chat and participating in this series, Miroslav. And we hope to see you once again, maybe in a few months' time, when we get season 13 underway.
Yeah, guys, thanks. See ya.
Miroslav Svoboda there, your Pro-Am champion. Great to have a chat with him. Thanks to him for coming up and having an interview. We will have a chat with our final champion. It's our amateur champion for this season, Helder Sequeira, who joins us now. Helder, congratulations. That, by our calculations, is the championship confirmed. You've outscored Adam tonight and you already had a bit of a lead. You must be very pleased about winning the title.
Hello, everybody. Yes. Sorry for my English, first of all, but yes, I should be the AM championship winner. So I'm very proud of all the season. This race specifically didn't go very well for me. But I saw that even Michael Velasquez and Adam Griverson had some errors also and finished after me, so I could make the enough points just to keep the leadership. And well, very happy for that.
Looking at your results this season, of course, you actually missed round 3 of the championship and you went on a really good run. You've won 3 of the last 4 meetings. Was there anything that you changed in your driving mid-season which helped you to get better results?
I just tried to train all the time I could, working with my teammates and all the team staff. That I really appreciate to have them with me, and well, just repeat, train, sleep, eat, repeat, and that all the most days that we could.
Well, yeah, certainly makes sense, Helder. Very, very good that you put in the amount of effort that you have done, and clearly has paid off a lot this season. Looking ahead, are you going to be sticking with the Porsche Cup over the next few months, or are you going to be driving any different cars?
If we can keep on Porsche, I will try to do it because it's a car that I love to drive. All races with it are very interesting. They are not absolutely boring. So as it's a car that I love to drive, I like to drive, and it makes the show very interesting. So I would try to keep on the championship and be there for the next season.
Well, that's very good to hear, Helder. Is there anyone you want to give any thanks to?
No, just the teammates, the team staff. That I repeat, they are very awesome people, and of course your work, because all the streaming that you're doing and the organization for the championship is absolutely perfect. It's the first time that I participate on a championship with this format, with hits format, and it's very fun, very chaotic in some races, but it's very fun, and it you have no time to get bored or think. Just try to drive and go ahead. So good work for the organization and for the stream also.
Well, thank you very much for the kind words, Helder. And yeah, hopefully we see you back in the future. Have a good break.
For sure.
Helder Sakura there, your amateur champion for this season. Aaron, maybe we'll have time for one more interview. I think we have already gone slightly over the time, but we'll have one more.
Yes, it's the last race of the season. We've got time for one more. And I fancy a chat with Corby Warren, who I don't think we've managed to speak to much this season, but a driver that's very much improved a lot over the last, 10 or so rounds. Colby, it must feel good that you got your first victory in that second heat race today. And, well, a nice podium to round out the season. Tell us how you're feeling.
Feeling great. I'm super grateful, feeling really good. Definitely feel like I've improved a lot over this season. A lot of that thanks to Dalton and his great coaching and just a lot of hours in practice. So this today at Suzuka was by far my best performance, so I'm absolutely stoked.
Yeah, you definitely shown everyone that you're definitely going to be a contender for next season. And well, speaking of, if there is another Porsche Cup season, do you think you'll take part in it again? And if you do, is there a potential championship on the cards? Do you think you can do it?
I don't know. I guess it depends who's participating. If Dalton's in here, Philip, Pascal, I think I'll need to put a lot of hours into practice, but I think that I will have a competitive chance, and I'm definitely excited to try.
Well, yeah, that's the spirit. You can always give it a go. You absolutely never know what can happen in this series. And well, what was your favorite round apart from this one? Because I'm guessing Suzuka, you've really enjoyed this one.
Yeah, absolutely. By far this was my absolute favorite. I really like Road Atlanta. That's a home track for me, and I've done some real track days there, so I especially love that event. It's just fun to drive in the sim always.
Well, we can agree to disagree, because I hate Road Atlanta. I think it's the most overrated track in the world. But I mean, I can understand it being close to home. I mean, I like Brands Hatch, and people hate that track, but it's close to me, so it makes sense.
Great track.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's a shame I can't say the same about Road Atlanta. But nevertheless, it's been a pleasure to have you in here, Colby. And anyone you want to give a thanks or mention to before you let you go?
Yeah, sure. Man, definitely thank you to Dalton for the great coaching, and thank you to my friends and my girlfriend for watching the stream and supporting me during the league.
Well, you've got a very lucky girl. The fact that she's got a very talented sim racer on her hands. So, but you go celebrate what's been a very, very good round for you. And we hope to see you back maybe in a few months' time when we get Season 13 underway.
Right on. Looking forward to it. Thanks, guys.
Corby won with a fantastic result. Yeah, starting alongside his coach for the A final grid, which was pretty awesome. Well, I think that's pretty much it for us then this season. Aaron, what was your race of the season? You've had 10 minutes to think about it. It's
either between what you said, Imola or Indy. I just loved that.
Sure.
was it Heat 2 where it started
2, yeah.
raining? Yeah, that was just brilliant. And Matt Strand and technically ended up winning that one because of the penalty. But yeah, that was really, really good. I think Imola as a whole was better, but I mean, I can't forget that Heat 2 in Indy. That was brilliant.
Yeah, that was insane. No spoilers. If anyone who's watching along doesn't know what we're talking about, just go back to Heat 2 at Indianapolis. It's only 10 minutes long, and just watch it from the start. Immediately, you'll get the gist, and then just see what happens. It's awesome, and exactly what we were excited about the rain when it got added to iRacing. Well, that is it for us this season. Of course, there's loads more action coming up on Apex Racing TV. We have got the Apex Racing League GT3 Trophy on Thursdays. We've got Late Apex as well on Thursdays. We've got Radicals on Friday. We've got Vic Tech and loads of other series. And of course, the Apex Racing Academy Porsche Cup will return. It's one of our most popular series on the channel. And so just check out apexracingleague.com. Check out the Apex Racing League social medias and the Apex Racing League Discord, particularly the Discord. It's really good to join because then you get announcements as soon as series go live. So that's really the best way to get news when it comes to any new events which are coming up. And of course, all of those events are broadcast on Apex Racing TV. Of course, thanks to all the drivers for this season for putting on a fantastic show across the 8 rounds. We have really enjoyed broadcasting it here on Apex Racing TV, of course, and we hope to see everyone back for next season. And of course, thanks to you guys as well for tuning in. Otherwise, we wouldn't take the bother to broadcast these races, but we really appreciate all the support and all the chats that we get during the races. But for now, from myself, Sam Fitzpatrick, from Aaron Smith, and from Joshua Wilkie, we are going to say goodbye, and we'll see you back for Season 13 of the Apex Racing Academy Porsche Cup.
Are you struggling for consistency in your sim racing? Does your iRating look like a roller coaster? If so, we have good news for you. The way to get more consistent is to first understand what you're doing differently than the professionals. And VRS is the answer. With our competitive subscription, you will have the telemetry, setups, tutorials, and everything else you need to fully analyze your driving. Our data packs and the ability to compare your driving with the best in the world will show you exactly where to adjust your inputs, change your driving line, and shave seconds off of your lap times. And our powerful and precise Direct Force Pro wheelbase and precision pedals are being used by some of the world's best drivers. All these champions agree that VRS hardware is not just the best on the market, it's also priced well below the competition. So if you're looking to upgrade to direct drive and the best pedals in sim racing, VRS is your answer. If you want to get better, get faster, and make it happen sooner rather than later, you owe it to yourself to find out why so many people are switching to VRS. You'll be so glad that you did. Visit www.virtualracingschool.com and learn why the best use VRS.